You're tuned into Taiwan Grooves. Let's explore the local music scene.
I guess I should've known better. I didn't have to go out and look in a friend for a lover, but I just kept coming back to the crook of your neck. I remember we crossed hearts and pretended we're better than that. Made a promise, I must have missed it. I've never seen you in this light. And then we collided, decided before we could ever think about it. 'Cause I wanted you more than I thought I did. Yeah, I wanted you more than I thought I did. More than I could ever admit. Tiyakap sa dilim, tuliro pag ikaw ay kapiling. Pag hindi ba natin pinansin ay mawawala rin. Kung alam ko lang iyong mga damdamin, eh di sana nasubukan kong sabihin. When we collided, decided before we could ever think about it. 'Cause I wanted you more than I thought I did. Yeah, I wanted you more than I thought I did. More than I could ever
Hello, dearest people. You are once again tuned to Taiwan Grooves, for which I am very grateful. And in today's episode, we're going to continue with our interview with Marian Carmel, a Filipino pop star based in Singapore. The first song we just heard is called Wanted You. In the first part of the interview, we covered her origins, influences, what brings her to Taiwan, and how she deals with her stage fright. If you did not catch that episode, I highly recommend that you go check it out, because we're about to continue this interview. So sit back and relax and enjoy the mellow voice of Marian Carmel. When did you decide to make music your career, or to go like fully into it?
Oh my gosh.
And what was the breaking point? Can you still remember? What was
Okay.
the Demi's voice in your head?
Yeah, this is real. This is me. You should do music full time. No. I have never actually done music full time. I've
Okay.
always had like a different thing. So I started making music professionally when I was still in school,
Mm-hmm.
and then throughout university. And I've always had like a part-time job or anything like that. I feel like not a lot of people talk about this, but music is a privilege, and it requires a lot of capital. It's really tough to be able to make something, put it out there for, I guess, for the first few years, very little in return. So I have had to take a lot of jobs. At one point, I think last year I had 6 jobs to just be able to like
Wow.
live and pay rent and make music on top of that. But actually, I think I'm gonna do music full time this year. Yay! I worked really hard to be able to do that, and I just handed my resignation last week. Yeah, so some people know about this, but I'm actually an English teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So I teach English to primary school kids, and I feel like this tour and everything that has happened in the past year has pointed towards me being able to reap the benefits of the hard work that I've put in. So I'm able to say no to some of the jobs that I've taken and slowly quit the 6 jobs I've had.
So one by one.
One by one. Yeah. So now I can actually focus on music and give it a good shot. Yeah. And I think that's what I've been lacking, which is like focus and really just betting on myself. And like, I mean, it's unwise to put all your eggs in one basket, but
Right.
I'm putting most of my eggs in this basket, I guess.
This year.
Yeah, this year.
Basket is full.
Yeah, I have to do it. Like otherwise,
No, of course.
I'm never
no.
going to be able to do it. And if
Gotta take the leap. You
Yeah.
can always go back if something doesn't. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
you know, it's not even about like being full-time musician and just earning money from that, but like having the idea of like, okay, I'll make this more and more. Like the percentage, the ratio will kind of go
Yeah.
from like less job, more music. And you're still pushing that towards, okay, I'm going to make music my priority at some point. So even that little switch is kind of like, okay, this is now you're considered a musician. Because some people, you know, it's a fun hobby. You go there, you jam a little bit, you still have a full-time job, but you never consider to make music your kind of like a path or something. But I want to hear that. I'm curious because a lot of people might think, you know, it's making music, peaches and cream. You know, it's just you make a record, you get millions, you're a rock star. You know, you go with parties and everything, but a little people see behind that like how many percentages really make it and how tough you have to work and how many things go wrong before. So
yeah, for sure. Like I feel like statistically only like 0.01% of musicians are actually able to quote unquote make it big, whatever that means to you.
Make it big, okay.
Yeah. But like for me, I don't think I want to make it big. I just want to make it sustainable.
That's very realistic and beautiful goal.
Yeah. So I feel like, I mean, like I've said, the purpose of my music is to just make people feel seen. And if there's one person who identifies with it, which I think with the community that show up, there's at least 20. I've done my job. So I just want to make it sustainable now.
I mean, you are making a tour around country, so that's already
exactly
way past stage that me or some people get, you know. So
yeah,
awesome.
I'm very grateful to be able to do this. Yeah, the years of like me working really hard with my 6 jobs have come to this, you know. And even though it's a small tour and like I don't know how many people are gonna show up to which house. If people are listening to this, you should show up. But,
sorry, it will come out later after. But
okay, this will be a post-gig
All right,
thing.
so let's correct it to I hope you showed up to which
Yes. Well, actually, if you're hearing this, the Witch House gig went really well. And you should have been there. But yeah, like really, really grateful to be here. Yeah.
That's good to know, you know, because I always like to ask, how do they balance it? Because a lot of people will have those jobs and then they have time, less and less time for music. And it's like, not an excuse, but sometimes, you know, you have to do that and just like push through and do less of jobs, more of music. It's like taking a little risk thing, but
for sure. And it's tough because like, I mean, we all have different abilities and like different financial backgrounds, and it's tough because some people can be so talented, but they just don't have access to these things, you know? Yeah, so I feel really grateful to be in Singapore, that's one, but also to be able to have worked and to have saved up to be able to do this. It's tough out there, but I guess like if I could talk to a version of myself from 2 years ago who was really, really burnt out from that part-time job and going home and then trying to record, it's okay. And you don't have to rush it. There is no big timeline to when you can make it, I would say. And it's just your own unique journey. So just because like you're a certain age and you have not put out like a gazillion albums yet, it's not like you can't compare yourself to other people with different backgrounds.
Right,
yeah. At your own time, I would say. Yeah, if that makes sense.
It makes sense, yeah. I'm pretty sure the you from 2 years ago is very proud, high-fiving you right now.
Yeah.
It's like we can finally rest.
Yeah.
Well, kind of.
Yeah.
Still have to do a lot of writing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
All right. So you have a new single coming out, right?
Tonight.
Could
Yes.
you tell us something about that?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So this is a song called Wanted You.
Mm-hmm.
It's my first bilingual song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about it, but very nervous because I've never done this before and I don't know how my current audience will react to it. But I know that a portion, or rather quite a majority of my audience are also from the Philippines. So I'm really excited to hear what they think. But I wrote it basically about falling in love with a friend. Which is a thing that I tend to do. But also, yeah, I think there's something very special with platonic relationships and being able to fall in love with someone who you know so deeply already and someone you know you can trust and be safe with is a very special thing. Because I mean, I feel like nowadays people can just like go on their phone and then look at Tinder and then meet people on the app. I feel like when you meet people on apps and just go on dates with them, you already have like this idea that you're looking for a romantic relationship. And that is a very different lens to look at connection and like how you communicate with this person, because we treat our romantic partners differently as compared to our friends. So I feel like being able to know them as people and as friends and then having a relationship come out of that, if that happens, is a wonderful thing. And I'm very lucky to be able to experience that. Yeah, it's scary and exciting because you're like, oh no, but we've been friends for so long, what if we ruin the friendship? But you know, again, taking that leap is
What if you
fun.
don't?
Yeah, what if you don't? You'll never know. Yeah.
That's nicely put. All right, so that's coming out tonight.
Tonight, 12
All right, we'll have that.
12 a.m.
12 a.m.
Yeah.
I already set the time. If I were to ask you, how many songs have you put out by now? Could you give me at least a little estimate?
I think about 40 songs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's...
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah, that's quite a lot. You're no stranger to this
Yeah.
anymore.
Quite a lot of songs, but I mean, I started out with a lot of collaborations.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I've only started releasing my solo stuff back in like 2018, 2019. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So still quite a while.
Yeah, still quite a while.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Oh, experience.
I try.
All right, so out of all of these songs, do you happen to have one that takes your heart, that is always fun to perform, that is your
Okay.
favorite?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And why?
I have my favorite song to perform, and then I have like a favorite song.
Okay.
Yeah. So my favorite song to perform is the title track of the upcoming EP, which is called What If Nobody Kisses Me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very, very fun song. The first time I wrote it, which was like 2 years ago, I was really excited to perform it already. So I started performing it even though the song wasn't released yet. And the 20 people who would come to my show would record it and memorize the lyrics so that the next time I would play it, they would just sing it with me,
wow.
even though it was not released yet. So they would watch the video, which is insane to me. And after a while, because it took me like 2 years to actually release the song, they were like, is it ever coming out? So they kept on like posting it online, and then they would tag me, and then they would put on the Instagram story and say like, it's 2 years, Marian. It's been 2 years. When is it coming out?
The
And I'm like,
pressure.
okay, guys, give me a second. It's coming out. And then so when it finally happened, they were so happy about it. And yeah, I'm really glad to be able to share that moment with them. But also when I sing it live, apart from them like singing the chorus, there's also this one part in the bridge where it's a quiet part, so everybody goes low, and then I count them off, and then they start dancing when the beat drops. Yeah, so it's really, really fun. That's gonna happen that has already happened at Witch House. By the time you're hearing this, yeah, it was a very fun show.
I like the attitude.
Yes.
All right, and
Oh, my favorite, man.
sorry, you only got to pick one.
I feel like I have a current favorite.
Okay, fair enough.
Actually, I know I don't. It's so difficult to pick. Like from different parts of... Okay, this is my favorite song because it came so easily. And when we recorded it, it was very special.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a song that I wrote about coming to Taiwan. It's a song called I've Been Lying. And I never sing that live because when I have, I've always cried. It's a very special song. And it's about thinking of other universes where things went right in your relationship so that you make yourself feel better. Yeah, so after like my big breakup, I was like, man, this sucks. So I just started being delusional and thinking about like other universes where it went right. And it's funny because in that relationship, during our first anniversary, we were supposed to go to Taiwan, but then I had forgotten to apply for a visa. So I didn't get to go. So now it's my first time being in Taiwan, but I got that song out of it, so it's fine. And there's a line there that goes, climb a hill in Taiwan or wherever it is that you want. So in that universe where I was imagining, we actually went to Taiwan. Yeah, and that my life would be completely different. I don't think I'd be making the music that I make now. Very different goals from that past version of myself. But yeah, I think it's a very special song. When we recorded it, I think we only did like maybe 2 takes, and it was a 1 take thing. So we did not stop. We did not punch in anything.
Wow.
And we did not play to a metronome either. So it was just me and a pianist, and we were just feeling each other's vibes, listening and trying to make the song together, and just had that recorded, immortalized, and it was really special. Yeah. And you can hear like different folly sounds in there. Like you'll be able to hear laughter from me and that previous relationship, some planes flying away because I didn't have my visa. And also just like the breaths and the pauses. Yeah. And then after that, when we recorded it, I was inconsolable in the studio. But that is a core memory, and I hold that very dear in my heart.
So do you still perform that song?
Nope. But I will. I mean, I have. In
which house? You have performed it?
I have performed it in which house? Without crying. Yes.
All right. Wow, that's great. Yeah, that's the beautiful way to engage your imagination and writing and creativity. Because it is really like, we don't really think about it, but what if you walk through that door and not that door? What if you missed that train?
Yeah.
Like, your life could have completely taken on a different path. And it's insane to even think about it. So It's a beautiful way to put it into words.
Yeah.
Nice. It's a new material for our song.
There you go. Inspiration.
Thank you. Should come more often. Oh man, sometimes, I'm just sitting and I'm really listening what people are saying. And then I forget that I have to react and I have to ask something. Because I'm trying to like listen,
Yeah.
And I'm trying to soak it all in. And then I'm just like, you finish. I'm like, I'm also here. I'm also on the mic.
But that's a good skill to have. Like listening is very important.
Yeah, but on the radio, you're supposed to talk.
True.
It's okay. I gotten better. All right. Do you happen to have a core memory of favorite performance? Like something that really stayed in there since a couple years ago until now?
I feel like my favorite performances are the most recent ones.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have to say the Pink Dot performance where I performed at Pride last month is going to be in my mind for a very long time. It was a really
people doing the dance.
Yeah, the dance, even though it's not my song. It's amazing. But also, even before I stepped on that stage and I like looked out at everyone from the wings, the crowd just felt warm. There's something with the Pink Dot crowd and a crowd full of people who are a part of your community that is so beautiful. So the moment I went up on stage, even though I was like jacked up on adrenaline, I knew that I was in good hands. Yeah. So whatever it was, everyone was there to have a good time, and I knew that they would accept me as I was. And I was very open and very ready to connect with them. And I think they were too. Yeah. So I think
you can definitely feel the energy, vibration, whatever you want to call it. It's sometimes people come from different, or I should say better, with different mindset into one room.
Yeah.
But then after you're all on the same wavelength or whatever, you're all in it.
You're all in sync. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's good.
It's beautiful.
Now, if I were to ask you, so you mentioned the jobs were kind of a big hurdle to get over and to have your music released, published, and do it more and more. Is there anything else that you thought was holding you back and that you kind of had to struggle with and has made you what you are today?
Wow.
Sorry, not that deep. Should I switch
No. This is good. I feel like there are so many universal struggles with every artist, in that there are so many artists out there, and we are always trying to justify like why us? Like, why should I make music if there are so many other people who can say it beautifully and like in a different way? You know, like Chappell Roan already exists. Leon Lahavas already exists. So does Emily King. Like, I don't need to be doing this, but also your experiences are so unique to you, and you are the only person who is able to express them in that way. And that is so valuable and so precious, and other people will be able to see themselves in that. So before getting to this to this stage of my life, I was very much in self-doubt mode, and I was like, oh no, but my voice is not good, and like, why should I do this at all? Like, I was so afraid of taking up space and like sharing my music, to the point where I would not even invite people to my shows, which was like, what, then why are you doing a show? Right? So I would get so nervous about inviting people to shows because I was already in the mindset that I would not do a good job, that I would only do it like maybe on the day itself or like the day before, because I was panicking about the ticket sales or whatever, or the attendance. So I had to, I guess, like work on that a lot and really root for myself, and again, surround myself with good people. And then I started rooting for myself and believing that I actually could. And because of that mindset, I was able to open myself up and like make new friends and like open myself up to collaboration. Yeah, I don't know if I make sense.
Yeah, no, totally. You beat the biggest critic of all time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You are your own worst critic and stuff.
Yeah, that's nice. I never really looked at that angle, as you said, like there's already this artist existing making this. For me, it's more like a little lower approach, or like more like dog approach. Like, hey, they're playing and I want to play too. It's not even what I have to offer or express. It's more like I want to be happy. I want to just be part of that. Whatever's
awesome.
Jamming happening, you know. So it's like I never really thought the step forward, like, oh, somebody's already doing this funk or whatever bluesy song. I'm like, no, I just want to learn their songs and just play, and then maybe if I have something to offer, then I'll think about it later.
Yeah, I love that though. I love that.
But then again, you know, there's different stages. So I'm just the guy who's practicing in the bathroom, and you're the person who has released 40 songs. So there's a gap.
Oh, no.
I'll let you know in 3 years.
Yes.
All right, 2 more questions. Last questions.
Nice.
If you were to enlighten me about the music industry in Singapore, what would you like to share? How it is compared to elsewhere, if you know how to compare, or just give me an insight from there.
Nice. So I feel like I've spent the most time in the industry in Singapore. I can't really speak for the rest because I feel like I'm not knowledgeable enough to speak about it. But in Singapore, it's so small. It's such a tiny community. It's a tiny country to begin with. So the musicians are an even smaller percentage.
You all know each other.
Yes, we all know each other, and we support each other. We go for shows and stuff. And it's very easy to get to know people, essentially. Getting into the scene as a singer-songwriter is way easier as well. The barrier to entry is very low. And it's fun because it opens up a lot of doors. So the first artist from Singapore that I've ever seen live is this person called Charlie Lim, and I love him to bits. He performed as an opener for Kimbra when she came to Singapore, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. I love that he's a local artist. I've never heard local music before, but this is amazing. Like, I need to find out more about it. And then because the scene is so small, I would see that he has collaborated with other people, and then I would check their music out, and then I would go for their shows. And eventually later on, because the barrier to entry is very low, I was able to enter programs, like mentorship programs and stuff. And then he became my mentor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was
there's a lot of like assistance, help, programs that you can take. That's great.
There's a lot of support from like, I suppose, different initiatives. I think most of them are government funded. But yeah, there's a lot of support. And even for my first album, the government was NAC, the National Arts Council, was able to give me an amount to be able to market with, which is unheard of.
That's amazing.
It's really cool. So in terms of government support, it's definitely there. But I would say that because it's such a small country, the listenership for local music is even smaller.
Okay.
Yeah. Like if you take a big country like the Philippines, 1% of the Philippines is, I think, 600,000.
Wow.
I don't know if I'm doing my math right. but 1% of Singapore is way less.
Right.
Yeah.
In terms
So,
of ratio.
Yeah.
But then, would you happen to know where your biggest listenership come from?
Taiwan, for some reason.
There you go.
Yeah.
24 million people.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's really, really interesting to see where the music is going. But also,
Plus, you have the whole world because you write in English.
yeah, trying to get it out there as much as we can. But yeah, Singapore is great. I think we have really, really talented people. I wish more people listened to us in Singapore and were more proud of us, because I feel like there are so many different cultures there. And a lot of English music that they listen mostly to like the Billboard 100s. Yeah, so there's not a lot of love for local music apart from the 20 people that come to every show. But yeah, I wish there were more love.
I'm sure with time it will become 40 and then 100 and then.
I actually really very much agree with that, because before COVID, the attendance wasn't that great for local shows. But I feel like because of COVID and because people were deprived from all of those shows, the moment that it opened and live shows were there, like so many more people came and the energy was different. It was electric, and some of the people who were there were going for shows for the first time because they were like in their early teens during COVID. By the time it got lifted, they were like 18 or 17 and they were allowed to go to shows by their parents. Yeah, so it was a lot of pent-up energy, and then once it was all released, everyone was kind of, I guess, ready to listen to more local music, which is, I think, is great.
All right, very last question. Any messages for starting musicians you would like to spread on? Any wisdom to the past you, something? Enlighten us.
This is a message that past me has for me, actually.
Let's go.
So back in 2016, I went to a show, like a jazz show in Singapore, and my favorite band, Hiatus Coyote, was there. They had a meet and greet afterwards, and I was at the front. And I had just started making music professionally, so I asked them a question after the meet and greet. After we took a photo, I talked to the front woman, who is Napalm, and I asked her, is there any piece of advice that you would give to an aspiring musician who's just starting out? And then she said, make the music that you want to hear in the world, not what you think the world wants to hear.
Sounds like Buddha said it himself.
Yeah. Wow. It's crazy because that's something that has become like my North Star and my compass to whatever I do. And that's something that still holds true for me today. And it's really funny because someone behind me in the line was also a musician. And then she heard that and she was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And I'm going to follow that now. And then we became friends later on. And we had no idea that we were there together. But we were talking about this and she was like, oh yeah, no, I heard Napalm say this to one girl. And she was saying, you know, the piece of advice. And I was like, wait, I'm that girl. That's crazy.
And that's it for our interview. Hope you enjoyed the show and go check out Marian Carmel. Have a lovely week and I'll be back soon.